The 417 Gamers is a group of board, tabletop, and card gamers in the 417 area code. This is the podcast. Welcome to the 417 Gamer Podcast, episode 54, the one with Edges of the Realm. We got the ladies from episode 53, Catherine and Sansu. They stopped back in for the 4. In the 4, we're talking about 4 games we're enjoying. Andrea talks about Wyrmspan, the Dragon Academy expansion. I talk Twisty Tracks. Catherine talks Click-a-Tree, and Sansu talks Fountains. In the one topic of the show, Andrea and I review the drafting map building game Edges of the Realm, Fields of Faerun, a Dungeons & Dragons game. And in the 7, Andrea and I look at 7 games that we wish we could have gotten to this year before we talk about our favorite games of 2025. Without further ado, the 417 Gamer Podcast. Welcome to the 417 Gamer Podcast. My name's Rick.
And I'm Andrea.
And joining us from episode 53, we have Catherine.
Hello.
And Sansu.
Hello.
We're going to talk about 4 games that we've been playing recently. I'm going to get this one out of the way. It's a cute little game by Rio Grande Games. It's called Twisty Tracks, designed by Jeffrey Alliers. The artist is Bridget Indelcato. This is super, super simple. You could play it with most kids, probably 5 and up. Everybody has a little player board. They have 4 trains, a red, a yellow, a blue, and a green. And then you're going to take tiles and play them to your board, kind of Suro style. Mm-hmm. And your trains are going to move around. Each time they cross a border, and that's a border with a tile or border on the edge to come back, you get a point. And then as soon as a train hits a station, if it's still available, you take one of your player chips and you put it on there and you get more points. It's very, very simple. And if you're, it even says in the rules that if you're playing with children and both sets of rules are too much for them, take one of them out. Either don't do the stations or don't do the borders, and just let them play either way. We picked it up, played it, and I think my niece is really going to like it, so we're going to throw it over to them. It was on the Metagames used shelf, and we got it for $5. So nice. We played it for $5.
Nice. That's a great deal.
And it gave us something to talk about here on the podcast.
Yeah.
Foxmind also makes one that I demoed last year called Blast Track. That is very similar to that. But it's an amusement park ride that you're creating, and you have a meeple on a car, and you're laying tiles and following the tracks of a ride.
Mm-hmm. That's
and
fun.
Depending on what you put in, whether it be slopes or loops or tunnels, or you're getting points for that. And you work your way down. You want to get points, but you don't want to get too many points, because if you do, then you start going backwards and you lose points.
Oh,
So,
I like that.
People don't like rides to be too crazy.
That's true.
I don't know. Is it true?
Yeah, it's true.
I don't.
True statement.
I could say.
True statement.
I love crazy rides, but yeah.
Well, Sansu, what have you been playing lately?
One of my big surprises this year, because I had friends who had done the play testing for it. Jess had seen it at Gamma at the beginning of the year. And everybody off of all of that was like, oh, it doesn't look like it's going to be really good. The coloring and all of that was just, not appealing. And I'm a huge one for table presence. But Fountains by the Op. Absolutely stupendous game. I love puzzly. And it is just that with just the right elements. And it's one that has amazing replayability, because depending on who you're playing with and how they move the pawns is really going to dictate how you're going to end up building your fountain. So you are artisans who are building a fountain. You have all these different shapes that you can choose from. And you are working, everybody is using the exact same pawns, moving them around the board, and you can move anywhere from 1 to 3 spaces, but if that space is already occupied, you have to skip it. And you have to go to the next one. And you have 3 points that are on there. One's green, one's blue, and one's white. And each of them is a scoring point. So whenever that color pawn gets back to that spot, whoever triggered the scoring gets to, if it's fish, then they get to choose the color of fish that's going to score. So they can choose in their favor and not yours. Yeah. If it's lily pads, then it's all the lily pads that are connected as long as they have water going to them. And then the other one is the ponds. How many ponds do you have in your fountain? And so you have several opportunities to score throughout the game. And then you're trying to build. You can build up, you can build out. It's really up to you. But really that was my big surprise in how much I absolutely love that game, because it's the perfect amount of puzzle and strategy and lots of points.
Lots of points.
That
was designed by Kedrick Winks. The artist is Sean Ellis, and that is published by the Op. Catherine, you were playing a Lick-a-Tree or something?
Something like that. The new Uwe just delivered this week, and we got to play Nick's copy yesterday at Metagames at 3 and 4 players. And then last night I got my copy, and I got to play it at 2 players. So I've played at every single player count, and it is a wonderful game.
What is it best at?
Well, it's a tile laying game, and puzzly, like Sansu loves. It is a fantastic puzzle, and it's got this great push-pull because, so what you're doing is you have fruit that you use to do an open draft. Yes, it's an open drafting game, Rick, and I like it.
No, you like open drafting. You hate closed.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Never mind. Okay, so you have this ring of 6 different trees and 7 different fruits, and you will pay for 2 trees that are adjacent to you around a fruit, so whatever that fruit is, and then you go in on your tableau, or your whatever that you're building onto your tree forest. You add the trees to your area, and then you will harvest the trees. And so much like Applejack or any of those harvesting games, the trees that are the fruits that are next to each other, you harvest more of them. But the rub is, because on this board over here that's tracking how many fruits you have, there are different goals that you have to complete in order to be able to harvest more fruit. And then the goal of the game to win, it's kind of a racing game where you are trying to get a number of fruits above the required number to win. So there's 2 all the way at the top, and then 3, 5, 6, 7. And so if you get all 7 above the 7 fruit, you trigger end game. If you get 2 above the 2 fruit, but that means you have to completed all 9 of your goals. And so it's just a brilliant puzzle of figuring out when you are going to go for the goals to get those off your board, or when you're going to go for more harvest. And so it's very, it's such a simple game.
But it's got that good opportunity cost that you like.
Yes, it is. You have to make tough choices and know when to flip from focusing on goals to focusing on harvests. Because there is that point of the game where you're like, okay, I've got my 5 within reach, I can just go for more harvests. And so, but then you're also reliant on the market, because the market depends on what fruits come out, depends on what you can harvest, and it's just, it's a classic Uwe.
And it comes in a wooden box.
Well, if you go with the all-in
is that the
pledge, that's the all-in pledge.
I saw Nick's and had a wooden box.
Yeah, and it's also got the choice between the discs that have the fruit painted on them or actual fruit shapes, which is fun. And then you do have the nice wooden bits and pieces, but the retail game is really nice too, because the cardboard is a really nice heavy chip cardboard, and it's nice. And the whole thing is based on Click-a-Tree, which is an organization, a nonprofit organization that is working on planting trees in Ghana, so that you can grow harvests under them for the whole country to become more self-sustaining and fight climate change, all the good stuffs, right?
That's awesome.
Nice.
So the game itself, let's see if I can remember this correctly. There is a road somewhere I think in Africa, that is called Board Game Road because it is a whole bunch of different publishers and Uwe himself that are working to plant 40,000 trees in the next, I don't know if it was the next decade or what the time frame was, but they're well on their way of getting that to recreate the rainforest or something.
Nice.
Yeah, it's super cool.
And the artist on that is Roman Kucharski, and it's published by Skellig Games.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea, we got an addition to one of your favorite games.
Yes, Wyrmspan, which is the dragon edition of Wingspan.
The Dragon Academy.
And the Dragon Academy gives you dragons to train, jumping on the How to Train Your Dragon bandwagon. The original game, you would have baby dragons that are called hatchlings, that in order to play them out to your board, you would have to feed them something like milk, in addition to their other costs, whether it be gold or meat or whatever. The adult dragons also would take as far as a resource to be able to play the card. The new dragons, fledglings, are a step up. They also have a cost to play like an adult dragon would. However, when you do the Explore a Cavern action, they have a special power that you get to use that is really good. And some reviewers say that they're overpowered because when you do the Explore action, you get some really good benefits, whether it's you get 3 or 4 resources or you get to play another dragon out of your hand for free or such. However, you have to train the dragon first before you can use that ability when you explore. And sometimes it's when you're doing an explore, there are spots on the card where your training is to pay a resource, whether it's another dragon card or a resource. And you have to do that multiple times on some of the fledgling cards. So it really isn't overpowered, in my opinion, because you have to train them before you get that benefit. And if you get a fledgling card later in the game, you just don't have time to get them trained and then be able to explore and get that really great payoff resource of having them trained. So in my opinion, it's not overpowered. There are, however, I will say, some new cave cards also in this expansion that have a benefit that say fully train a fledgling for free, or train one step of a fledgling's training for free, and those really help out. Otherwise, they, in my opinion, are more trouble than they're worth.
And that the artist on that is Clementine Campardo, and that is published by Stonemaier Games. Mm-hmm. That's the 4 in the 417 Gamer podcast. Ladies, thank you for coming back on. But Andrea
if anybody is interested, I will actually be teaching and demoing fountains at Barnes & Noble on December 12th.
Yay.
From 4 to 7.
Very nice.
Absolutely put that in the show notes and promote you in the 417 Gamer group.
Much appreciated.
But we must leave you ladies behind, because Andrea and I, in the topic of the show, are going to review Dungeons & Dragons, Edges of the Realm, Fields of Faerun. Hey guys! Metagames Unlimited is Southwest Missouri's friendly local game store of choice. Large play space, great board game selection, magic cards, Warhammer, paint, supplies, everything you could want for gaming. The 417 Gamers and we usually are out every Thursday night from 6 to close playing them games, teaching them up. Come out and play games with us. Also, check out some of the events that they run in town. Check their Facebook at mguinc.com or go over to the Facebook page, facebook.com/MetaGamesUnlimited, or on Instagram at meta_games_unlimited. Let's get on with the topic of the show. The one topic of the show is going to be a review of the Dungeons & Dragons Edge of the Realms Fields of Faerun. Designed by Phil Walker Harding and published by WizKids Games. Dungeons & Dragons Edge of the Realms Fields of Faerun is a drafting, tile placement, map building, simultaneous action game set in the Dungeons & Dragons universe. In the game, everybody's going to have a hand of 3 cards. You're going to start with one little card where your explorer is going to be on. And all the explorers are different colored meeples, but they all are different, shaped for different classes. So you have your warrior, your cleric, your mage, your rogue, your ranger. But on your turn, you have 3 tiles that you're going to place, one of. And there's 4 different terrain types. There's grasslands, waterlands, mountains, and plains. And you're going to everybody's going to pick a tile to play, pass the rest of their hand to the left, and flip over.
Pick a card to play.
Yep, pick a card to play.
You said tile.
Well, they're square cards.
Well, okay, yes.
So, yes, cards, but it's the tile
But
laying
they
when
become
you
a
flip it
tile
over.
when you, okay.
On the tile that's got the various terrains, but it also has a monument on them. There's 4 different monuments. There's a quarry that allows you to build metropolises or towns. There's an inn that allows your character to travel around and explore. There is the portal, which will actually let you take another card out of your hand, hold it over for a later turn. And then you have the wizard's tower that lets you terraform different spaces from one terrain type to another. The trick of it is there's some different goals that you will put out. There's one global goal it's either biggest terrain areas or different terrain areas of 5 or more spaces. No, 6 or more spaces are worth 5. And so that's going to always happen. Then you have another one that you'll put out there that will be... it'll have victory points based on who can hit it. But we played multiple games where half the people or more didn't hit it.
I don't know that I've ever hit the global goal because they are difficult.
Yeah. Like one is build 2 cities adjacent to each other twice. And that's tough while you're trying to do everything because you're going to play a 4x4 grid that's 16 cards, but one of your cards is your starting tile. So you're only going to play you got 15 turns to do it, and it sounds like that's not that hard. But when it's a drafting game and you can hate draft, it's harder than you think.
And especially with it being a global goal, everyone knows what you're trying to do, so they can
Because
prevent.
they're trying to do it too.
Right.
So if everybody's trying, if one of the goals is you need to explore so many regions, everybody's keeping those in cards so they can move their people around and try and explore.
Because you can't move your explorer unless you have a card tile that lets you do it. Mm-hmm. And everybody's, like you said, taking them for themselves. Which means if everyone's taking them for themselves and there's not very many of them, maybe nobody's going to get that goal.
Mm-hmm. And then there's others on the quarry whenever you're building the towns. The towns can be placed if there's a 2x2 gridded sequence of squares that have the same terrain as that town type. And the towns on the top of the stack are worth more than the ones towards the bottom. And once they're gone, they're gone. Mm-hmm. So there's sometimes a race to grab the highest value because some of the towns kind of slowly go down in point value, but a couple of them, you grab the first 2 and they dive. It's like 6 points, 5 points, 2 and 2.
Right.
You know, big dive on those.
Big jump. Yeah. And I also like that you don't have to know anything about the Dungeons and Dragons universe to play this game. It adds value to you as the player if you know what a cleric or a wizard is, but it's not necessary.
No. So that's something we'll talk about. Because we're going to do a review on this. And in our review, we grade this on 5 criteria. Presentation. How does it look on your shelf? How does it look on the table? Components and rule book. How well is a rule book written? How does the components feel in your hands? Gameplay. How does the gameplay for you? Is it intuitive, easy to teach, easy to pick up? The theme. How well does the theme integrate itself into the game? And then it factor. How much do you want to play this game? Andrea, presentation on Dungeons and Dragons Fields of Edge of the Realms, Fields of Faerun.
Well, by the time you're halfway through the game, it looks pretty good on the table because you've got your tiles laid out. You've got your little area. It's not really a town that you're building. It's more of a map.
Yeah, you're building
because, there's grasslands and water and rivers and stuff. So it looks pretty good on the table. There's no fancy minis. Your little explorer is just a little, wooden meeple kind of a deal. But it looks pretty good on the table. We definitely have games that look better, but it's not. It's got pretty good table presence. So I'll give it a 3.25.
Okay, I'm going to give it a 3.5. Like you said, on the table, it looks pretty. It looks pretty decent as you built it up, and people will ask, "Hey, what's that?" Mm-hmm. It also has the Dungeons and Dragons cachet sticker on the front, which helps it quite a bit.
Sure.
But as far as if it's just sitting on a shelf, it kind of blends in.
It does.
So I think it does it some help on the table presence of people coming around, and then. It has some of its own cachet because of the name, and it's earned it.
Sure.
So I'm at a 3.5. Components and rulebook. The card quality on this, we've played it a handful of times. Mm-hmm. Cards haven't gotten grimy yet.
Yeah.
And sometimes whenever you're playing those drafting style card games where the cards are in your hand the whole time, they can pick up grime from hands. And granted, most of, sometimes it's who you're playing with, and most of our friends wash their hands on, good on them. We appreciate that.
And you're passing these cards around. So as you hand them off, there's always a chance to bend a card or something. Sure. But they're good quality.
And then the little meeples are nice. And for the price, I think it's fine. So, and the rulebook was not hard to get through.
No, it was pretty straightforward.
I didn't see a video when we first got this. Mm-hmm. I had to read it because we took it out to the
VIP game day
for Moon City.
Yeah,
I took it out and taught a couple people, played it, and it was a good time.
Yeah.
So the rulebook was not hard to get through. Components are nice. I'm going to give this one a 3.75.
Really? That's I'm just a 3.5. Okay. I'm a little less on that.
Well, and I'm giving it for the rulebook. It was something that I picked it up on that Friday. We taught it and played it on the Sunday.
And I think our listeners should know that I never read the rulebook. I always let Rick read the rulebook and tell me what to do.
And that's fair for your review.
Yeah.
But like I said, for me, I was able to get through the rulebook because I think I saw somebody that did a preview at a convention that it was coming out, but I didn't see a playthrough or a teach, so I read the rulebook through it. Mm-hmm. Gameplay is where this shines for me. I like our drafting games.
Yeah.
In fact, had we played this a little bit more for the November drafting game that we were talking about, this might have made our list, didn't it?
I think it. Yes.
This might have been even higher. The more that we've played this, the more I've liked the drafting style of it.
Yeah.
Gameplay is there. The teach has not been hard. It seems like everybody's able to pick it up. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm going back on components or rulebook. I'm knocking this down. I'm going down to a 3.5, and I'm sorry I'm walking this back. I have one big problem on this. The monuments on the tiles are a dingy gray,
yes.
And you have to really scrutinize those suckers next to your player. You have a player card or a player aid card that shows each one that this is a wizard tower, this is a portal, this is an inn, this is a quarry. Quarry looks very similar to the inn.
Listen, they all look almost exactly the same.
And unless you look at that is a portal, that is a wizard tower, it is easy to think one is supposed to be the other and vice versa.
Honestly, there's a couple times I've kept a card thinking it was one to be like, oh shoot, that's not what that is. That's the other thing.
So sorry I walked that back, but that's absolutely my biggest gripe from this game.
Yeah, I would agree.
The art on the monument is a little... It's not clear if the art popped a little bit better on those monuments, and I think they could have done it.
Yeah.
But so I knocked that back down to a 3.5. Gameplay is where it sings. Love the drafting. Love the actions that you have to pick. I like the opportunity cost where I have the quarry, I have the wizard tower, I have the inn. I want to do all three actions, but I have to pick which one. And then I can also add in to where the terrain that matches up on the tiles, because the tiles are a 3x3 grid of squares that have the various terrains and one monument space on them. And it's how you can butt them up against your other stuff is how you get some of those scoring opportunities.
Yeah.
So for that, I'm going to give it a 4.25.
Wow. I'm going to give it a 4.0. It's definitely one of those games where you get finished with your first game and you're like, I get it. I would have done this different and that different, which I suppose is any game you play, but this one especially.
Yeah, I think that goes with drafting games, period.
Yes, because with the, I can hit that global goal, no problem. And then you're like, nope, that's not how that's going to play out.
Most of our drafting games have that, like Ohanami. Mm-hmm. Ohanami plays so quickly, and you're building your own little garden with water features and stone features and plants. Whenever we're done, a lot of times people are like, ooh, can we play again? Because I do that different. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But this one plays a little bit longer. And, I mean, if it's a game night, I'd play it back-to-back if they asked.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I'm 4.0.
Theme. The theme on this is absolutely pasted on as far as I'm concerned. I could have put this as any grid building. You know, you could be building, I don't know, a building. You could be building a town. I guess it'd be map making regardless.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going as low as I thought I was going to go. I'll give it a 3.25.
I gave it a 3.0. Literally, if I didn't know it was Dungeons and Dragons, if it hadn't been on the cover, I would not have known.
And then that brings us to the it factor. How much do we want to play the game? I'd probably play it right now. I'm probably at a 4. I do like it.
Yeah, no, and the people we played with wanted to play it again too. So yeah, I'll give it a 4.0. Yeah.
So what we do is we score 0 to 5 in the criteria. You can do decimals whenever you think. We add it, divide it by the possible 25 points, and get our score. Andrea, for Edges of the Realms, Fields of Faerun, a Dungeons and Dragons game, you're at 71. I'm at a 74. Which kind of feels, as we're going through this, where we were on this game. Yeah. I liked it just a little bit more than you. Mm-hmm. But I do think if you like your drafting games, you should pick this one up. Just know that those monuments, that the art is a little kind of a dingy gray. And
Agreed.
it kind of bleeds in. Mm-hmm. But it's a good one in my opinion. Easy rulebook to get through. And now there are some how to plays. So, all right. You want to go on to the 7?
Let's do it.
You're listening to the 417Gamer podcast, and there's multiple ways to follow us. You can follow us through the Libsyn website at hobbygamingnetwork.libsyn.com. Follow us on Spotify. Search Hobby Gaming Network or 417Gamer podcast. Find us there. On YouTube, follow us with the 417Gamer channel. And, of course, if you'd like to direct any show notes and any comments to us, facebook.com/Hobby Gaming Network. Let's get back on with the 7. The 7 in the 417Gamer podcast is 7 of a category, and we can't play everything. Over 1,000 games comes out at Gen Con, over 1,000 games comes out at Essen in Germany. Then you have all the Kickstarters and releases throughout the year. You just can't play everything.
And all the games we have in our back room that are still sealed.
What?
Oh, yes.
But here next month, like usual, Ben Gutowski will join us on January 10th, and we'll talk about our favorite 7 games of 2025. But this list is 7 games that one of us, probably both of us, would have really liked, but either it's out of print, we can't get to it, but more than likely we just don't have time to get to these games. And they really are on our radar, and if we can find them, maybe we do get to them in time, but
Well, some of them are games that we didn't get to play because we were busy doing other things like our 10 for 10 challenge and stuff. And some of them were games that we wanted, but we couldn't get our hands on because either they were sold out or they were only Kickstarter and the mass release hasn't happened yet. And some of our friends have it already. And we're like, oh, I want to play that.
Which may, there's a slim chance that 1 or 2 of these we may actually get to.
Before the end of the year, because it's not Christmas yet.
Right. But we're recording right before Christmas and getting this done so we can have everything lined up, everything come out on schedule like we'd like.
What we like.
So let's talk about 7 games that we're probably not going to get to that may have made our list and still on our radar. List number 7, we're going to look at Above and Below Haunted. This is a game by Red Raven Games. It is designed by Ryan Lockett. He does the art and the design on all of his games. It's got a story game where you're playing, your character cards above and some equipment and stuff below the board. And you've seen the pictures in the link.
It looks beautiful. I mean, honestly, I think that of course, I really like fish, and it's kind of got a whimsical Japanese theme to it. The first player mini looks really good. The components look amazing,
right.
Honestly.
And people either like Ryan Lockett's art or they don't. So that's number 7. That was on our radar. The next one we're going to look at is Sweetlands. Sweetlands is more my alley, although Andrea might have liked it. Sweetlands is a heavy Euro, but I lost my link because that's how it's been happening. Sweetlands is designed by Tatsuka Cho and published by...
Looks like there is a lot of game in this box.
Devere or Yellow Star Games. Yeah, lots in this box. Lots going on. It's got...
I mean, the components, once they get them spread out on the table, I mean, it just goes and goes. Looks like it's going to maybe be a table hog.
Yeah. So there's some tile laying. There's some building placement. There's some resource management. There's tracks you're going to move up on. The buildings in the Kickstarter game are screen printed little mini buildings that you'll put out on the board. It's just gorgeous. The art is there for me. The mechanisms that are listed are there for me. Sweetlands, I think I would love, but it would take some time to learn and punch and all that stuff. The weight on this sucker out of 5 is a 4.14. So
that's
it is.
Maybe, would that be the heaviest game I've ever played? Maybe
it would be up there as one of the heaviest games you'd played.
Yeah.
But as a heavy game, I think this might actually get you in with the art and maybe a little bit of the theme. Because you like theme in your game.
I love it.
Number 5, we're going to look at Tea Witches.
Now that is more up my alley.
Absolutely. I mean, weight-wise, that's a 2.91.
Right.
It's designed by Manny Vega, published by the Op. This is one that Sansu talked about. Mm-hmm. She did a teach for Village Meeple, and she also helped them do their Tea Witches Tea Party event, where they had tea and they had little cookies and biscuits, if you will.
Another game where the components just look amazing. These little teacups and the little chits that go in them just look so high quality.
Yeah.
And to me, that does add a lot of, flavor to the game.
Absolutely. And because... So that's one that we actually may be able to get to, because Sansu knows it, can teach it. She likes us. She'd probably teach us. It's finding the time.
Yes.
And because when this releases, this will be the night after the Village Meeple Christmas party, and we can't make it to that just because of our schedules.
Yes, unfortunately.
We just got done with the Metagames Christmas party, which was amazing. It always is. And I would love to make it to the Village Meeple.
It's definitely a highlight of my year, for sure.
Yeah. We're on to number 4, which is Emberleaf. This is designed by James Tomlin and Frank West. It's published by the City of Games and I think Skellig Games. Anyway, it is, you got anthropomorphic animals where you're building a city. Mm-hmm. You've got contracts you got to fulfill. You got set collection. You got tile placement. But I think you can steal people's stuffs too. So there's a little bit of mean here. But I think the art would get you.
The tiles look really good, and the art. Another game where I'm looking at these photos going, man, these components and artwork just really pop. It's one of those where you see it on a table and you're very interested to find out more about it.
Yeah.
Speaking of that type of game. game.
Yeah, number 3 is
Pergola. Now this absolutely...
designed by Michael Goblowski, Primzik, Watchnawak. Sorry, I probably butchered that. But it's published by Rebel Studio, who did Meadow. And Meadow's art is gorgeous, and we like the way that plays.
So it's not just the art on this one that has me drooling to play it. And of all of our games, this is one I'm most interested in, just because of the way it looks. There is, first of all, an insert in it to hold all the chips, which is very nice. But the chips are flowers that you put into your garden. And it's not just you're making it pretty. There's little animals in there. And then the little action pieces are like a little shovel and a little trowel. That look like a shovel and a trowel. They're not just...
Yeah. There are various gardening tools. There's shears, there's a fork, there's the spade shovel, the trowel.
And they come in a little potting tray that they stand up in that looks exactly like a little... If you were a gardener, you would carry around your little tool tray with your tools sticking in it. If nothing else, go online and look at pictures of this game. It looks so cool.
It's one of those extra touches that they didn't have to do, but they did.
I want this one.
And I'm going to flip these two. Number 2, I'm going to go with Spooktacular. Spooktacular is published by Level 99 Games. It is designed by D. Brad Talton Jr. So this one might not be the most... the best looking game. It's got some like wooden meeples, but all the people you're trying to eat are just little cubes. So in Spooktacular, you're at a theater, and your various monsters that are trying to eat all the people coming out of the movies.
I like that it's flipped. I like that I get to be the monster. I'm not the person running from the monster. I am the monster.
Yeah, so each monster is going to have their own powers. So you got area movement where you're trying to move to different areas, pop out of the screen and get the peoples. You have set collections, so you're trying to get certain colors of the meeples and collect them up. And the art looks fine. It's the actions and the theme that really stand out. I've seen this on a few other people's lists. This wasn't on my radar until I heard about it. And now it's a game I think we probably would have loved had we gotten our hands on it before the end of the year.
It sounds like fun, honestly.
And maybe we do, but so much to play and so little time.
Well, we'll definitely keep an eye out for it.
So number 1, and I put this at number 1 for multiple reasons. The list really isn't in order, but this one would be number 1 because of the theme. And one of our friends has been trying to get me to play another game called Imperium, which has the same mechanics. But then the designer went with, I think it's WizKids, put Star Trek over it. It's a deep 2-player game, which we like our 2-player games.
We do.
But we're just starting to explore some deeper 2-player games. Because a lot of times we play the smaller Patchwork or...
Sure.
I mean,
Quick,
Seven Wonders
easy.
Duel is a little bit deeper, but not by much.
Right.
I mean, it's an hour game at most.
Most of our heavier
and that's usually
games
with us doing chores.
Yeah, most of our heavier games don't play great at 2.
Yeah.
So that's one reason you're excited to play this. One reason I'm excited to play this is because you see a lot of Star Trek, Star Wars, that kind of stuff in a lot of games, and it sometimes meshes, sometimes doesn't. Man, they did a great job with this one. I mean, the powers are accurate to Star Trek. And if you're a Star Trek fan, you're going to know exactly how a Romulan warbird functions in space and what its, cloaking abilities are. And the art is not, it's straight screen capture.
Oh, I think I glossed over the title. This is Star Trek Captain's Chair.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah.
I did the thing where I talked around it.
We know what we're talking about. Do you know what we're talking about? Did you figure it out from what we said? I did because I saw it.
It's designed by Nigel Buckle, David Zurich. It's published by WizKids Games. But you grew up watching Star Trek with your family, so Star Trek is ingrained in you. I like a good card game that is not deck buildery, although this apparently has some deck building components. Yeah, kitty. It's got some area majorities and influence. It's got some hand management. It's got some market.
And this is...
But you're directly playing within or against your opponent.
And it's not just me toting it because I love Star Trek. I mean, if you go on BGG, it's got 8.6 rating.
Yeah.
People are just all about this game because of the gameplay. So that makes me even more excited to play it. Wow, look at these cards. They look amazing.
Yep, cards are nice. The player boards look like they have that little strip that'll pull out to make you where you can set your resources in them, kind of like Propolis does and a few others, White Castle.
Yes.
So we're excited to play Star Trek Captain's Chair.
All of these games I'm excited about.
What is on your radar that you haven't gotten to yet? If you'd like to talk with us, go over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Hobby Gaming Network. We will see you on January 10th when we'll have Ben Gutowski on. We'll talk about 4 more games that we've been playing recently. We'll talk about our New Year's resolutions, how we did in 25 and what we're doing for 26, and our favorite 7 games of 25 that we got to play.
Yes.
But until next time,
Goodbye. The 417Gamer podcast is recorded and produced by Andrea and Rick Bagwell. The intro music we use, Kind, Gentle, Beautiful Person, and the outro music, Making Up for Lost Time, was created by Origami Reptica. For links to our show notes, the music, and guest links, head over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Hobby Gaming Network. Until next time, keep gaming in the 417.